Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Picks and Sticks podcast, a fun music podcast where four great friends talk about the music, bands, and songs that they love. I'm Moro.
I'm Gordo.
I'm Cecil.
And I'm Huff.
And this is Picks and Sticks. Let's power up.
Welcome, everybody, to Picks and Sticks. Sorry, did I surprise you? I started quickly right out of the gate. Yeah, there you go. This is a special episode, I guess. We're going a little bit off format, so we're kind of winging it. So we're going to keep this as the intro. Why the hell not? Hopefully Cecil can stay with us. We're doing this because AC/DC has surprised the world with an album, and we thought being a bunch of old guys, a bunch of dads, because I think they are considered dad rock or something like that, thought we'd do something special. Honestly, I thought that the best thing of 2020 in terms of old rock and roll guys was going to be when Alice Cooper released his series of Hot Sauce. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but I do recommend the Alice Cooper Hot Sauce if you can find it at your local retailer. But overall, 2020, as you know, has been a complete shit show. But AC/DC blessed us with a new album, so we thought we'd have a little chat about that. Before we get into it, though, quick Movember update. Cecil, have you got? Where are we at? What have we raised?
$1,520. Woo!
Oh, that's awesome.
The crowd
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Too many people to thank, so we'll send out messages direct from the app. But we still have a few more days. Might be able to make two Gs. Yeah,
it would be great to make 2 Gs. So, if, as I've said before, if you've got, obviously people that are close to you, friends, family, whatever that you donate to, please make sure you do that. If you want to donate, you want to get involved, you want to help out, improve men's health, and then you can go to our Movember episode. And there is a link in the show notes to our Movember page, and you can donate directly there. Every $10, $100, $1,000, whatever you got, we certainly appreciate your donation. As a quick reminder as well, you can email the show at picksandstickspodcast@gmail.com. We also have our playlists. We obviously won't have a playlist for this episode, but normally our playlists for other episodes are found on Apple, YouTube Music, or Spotify. So I think, is that it? Is that the
I think it
intro?
is, but I'm wondering how you're going to walk 50K in the next 5 days.
I just had,
and I don't see a stash.
Just come over. Walk to my house.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe I'll do that. Oh, hey, and I almost forgot to, in a happy belated Thanksgiving to our U.S. friends. There'll be
bummer about the football
probably some
game.
hangovers there from football and stuff. Yeah, I know, but
that we're going old school back when we shared a bucket of chicken and we could only make it through 2 games anyways. Third game was I never remembered the third game anyways, so
I've never remembered the third game. No, details get sketchy when you start watching the first game, cracking beers at our time zone. Games start at 10 a.m. So it's beers, and then it used to be KFC chicken at one of our houses, and we watch football all day. In between, there's usually a Madden game or something like that. And by the third game, I'm not so sure anybody had any idea.
4:30.
Nobody had any idea what was going on. So let's talk some AC/DC before we get into the album itself. I think everybody is probably an AC/DC fan. I think we were all excited to see that there was a new album. Does anyone want to start out with what's your favorite album, or has anybody seen them live? I think we probably all have. Who wants to volunteer some just nuggets of wisdom?
We're talking about royalty here. This is not no ordinary band.
Fair. Yeah.
You have like AC/DC, Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, maybe Black Sabbath. Not many more that are immovable objects. They're you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this is their 17th album, studio album. They've got 3 live albums or 4 live albums, something like that. And there's a box set and all that other shit. But 17 albums. That's insane.
When was their first album released?
Or some people will say 17 chapters of the same song.
Wasn't their first album 73 or 74?
Yeah, High Voltage was 75. TNT was 75.
It's a big year, 75.
Sorry, I don't. High Voltage. Holy hell! High Voltage was 75. There was Dirty Deeds, I guess, was 76. Let There Be Rock, 77.
Let There Be Rock.
I can't.
That's a hell of an album title
dude.
there. Hey? How do you top that?
So what people call it dad rock now, but I looked at the Billboard charts back between the 75 and 80, and it's littered with Elton John, Barbra Streisand, John Denver. So to
Johnny Denver on the Mountain High?
To guys like us, AC/DC is the furthest thing from dad rock. It was I don't know, the first time you could hear hard rock for us, mainstream.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because my 14-year-old daughter asked me if we were going to do a podcast on AC/DC, and I was like, why? She's like, oh, I listened to the new album. Or whatever it is she listens to, Apple Music.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, what song do you like? She's like, Systems Down. And I'm like, no way. That's like my favorite song on the album. I was shocked. So, but I was really happy because I was thinking, yeah, maybe it's for old men, but fuck that. I think there's young kids listening to it, which is really cool.
My 13-year-old boy likes AC/DC.
Yeah, my kids like it too, from School of Rock, of course.
Yes.
Great introductory to AC/DC. Yeah, my kids like this too. I think you asked earlier, Huffman, how many of us have seen them live, of all of us?
Yeah, I've seen
All
them
of us,
twice. Yeah.
They're the best concert. It's the best party.
Loud.
It's a everyone's on their feet dancing the whole time. Never seen any concert like that. No one takes a seat at all.
I saw them in '88, and the thing I still remember is how loud it was. I mean, concerts were louder back then. I know there's some laws kind of limiting decibels now and what have you, but even for back then, they were off the charts. Like the cannons alone are like mind-numbing, but just my ears are ringing for like 2 or 3 days after. It was incredible.
Yeah, the sheer volume we've all seen lots of, we'll call them heavy bands. Like, I've seen Slayer and we've seen Metallica and we've seen, Machine Head and a lot of stuff like. But in terms of pure volume, I'm not so sure anybody plays it a louder. And it's no doubt that Brian Johnson went deaf.
Oh yeah, of course.
And then you read an article. He's like Eddie Van Halen, whose mouth cancer is from picks. Brian Johnson's like, oh, it's from auto racing.
Yeah,
He blamed the cars.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to race anymore. Oh, okay, but you're allowed to stand 20 feet from a cannon.
It's like, dude, you're not talking to your wife here, man. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Well, the joke goes, if he goes on stage, he goes, how's everybody doing tonight? And they go, yeah, I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you. And
oh my God.
It's the truth. Everyone else is fucking with the crowd. He's being serious.
That's incredible. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll never, I hope I get to see them one more time. I mean, actually, now that I think of it, if I can go backwards a little bit, the first time I saw them was in 1991, and LA Guns opened up for them. So to tie back into the hair metal, LA Guns opened up for AC/DC 91. That was a Razor's Edge tour. And so I actually did see Ballad of Jane performed live, Tracy Guns. Just an epic evening.
And not to make this about Axl Rose, but we forgot to even talk about LA Guns in the Guns N' Roses episode, which Axl was a nut job, and Tracy Guns couldn't deal with him. So Guns N' Roses was Tracy Guns. Well, Tracy Guns and Axl Rose were Guns N' Roses. But anyway, where I was going with that.
Now I get it.
Great sidetrack, Morrow.
Yeah, but where I was going with that was not there. Where I was going with it was, I don't know if any of you have seen the concert footage of Axl when he replaced Brian Johnson.
It was good.
When he had to leave the tour.
Yeah, it was good, I thought.
Yeah, it was all right. It was Axl Rose.
It was
I
alright.
thought in terms of if you had to pick somebody when you're in the middle of a tour and there's millions of dollars on the line and you're like, we got to get somebody in here that can sing. Generally speaking, with that, I mean, Brian Johnson has a very distinct voice. I would say it's not easy to find somebody to fill in and do the job that he did. I don't know. I thought Axl Rose did a tremendous job, to be honest.
Well, I was just disappointed I didn't get the call.
Yeah, well, you know what?
But anyway,
There could be a singing segment at the end of this episode, so start doing your warm ups. Me. Start doing those, and then by the end, you'll just be killing it.
And some oys.
And some oys, yes.
When
Yes.
did you first see them, Carl? And you said you saw them as well.
I didn't see them till in my 20s. They no opening band for that concert. I took
that asshole took my girlfriend.
Yeah, I took Jason's girlfriend. We had a date.
I had to work.
He had to cancel his ticket, so I took his seat.
And then
Best concert I've ever seen.
and
been to.
then the next weekend you went camping with her because I had to work
Yeah,
too.
we had a little fling there for a couple weeks.
Really?
With,
You were
Concert
permi-
followed
I
by
think you were
camping.
banging her.
with permission.
Anyway,
That's what I was saying. Tomorrow was good. He was testing the friendship for a couple weeks there.
the only concert that my ears hurt more after was Van Halen. But I literally couldn't hear for 2 days after that concert, the AC/DC one.
It was nuts.
Like my ears were ringing.
Couple good parallels with the two brothers in the band that get along, and then two singers that are both freaking awesome, rare,
Yeah.
and long careers for all of them.
Wow.
Yeah, the Youngs are complete opposite from the Gallaghers.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
We
Complete
go
opposites.
from Oasis to AC/DC. They're complete two different families for sure.
Which begs the question: like, are they the best two-singer
sorry.
transition band ever?
I think so, in my opinion. I think a lot of people had fears because Bon Scott was so iconic and his voice so unique. Like, how are you going to find a guy that can, first of all, do what he did and then take it to another level? Then, how they found their Brian Johnson that's just crazy. How well he fit in. He was just awesome.
Well, most of us here would have. I think most people got to know Bon Scott after too, because they weren't as big back then. But holy frick, the Bon Scott years are amazing. Every song, unreal.
Well, that
and
brings us- yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
I was
go
just
ahead.
gonna.
I
sorry.
just said great tune. They're all great tunes.
Great
Yeah,
tune.
they're all great.
I was gonna.
Great
Do we
tune.
need to set the over under on how many times you say great
Okay.
tune? Oh man, that's a
Okay.
great tune.
You're gonna have to set it at
I'm
about
unreal.
10.
Unreal.
Yeah.
That song's unreal.
Yeah, we're gonna have to set that line at about 10.5. Yeah, I was gonna say, with the two singer thing, it's the fact that he can sing. Brian Johnson, that is, can sing, the Bon Scott stuff, right? Where, we talked about Van Halen and generally speaking, like Sammy didn't sing a lot of the, the David Lee Roth stuff and vice versa, depending on who was there, right? So it is a little bit different that way. Do you guys, before we get into it, do you guys remember the first album you heard or how you came into contact with the band?
Mine was I was working in a kitchen at a restaurant, and somebody threw on the Back in Black album, and I was just like, "Who is this?" Like, it just grips you instantly, and that is one of the few albums that is like front to back, just incredible. You're not skipping anything. It's just a fantastic album.
What were you like 4?
Well, it was a couple years after it came out, so I was probably I was young. I was probably 15.
Dishwasher.
I was making pizzas back in the day, boys. Oh, you probably got the spitter.
Once again, big
That's
sister.
best case scenario.
I had the Who Made Who tape.
Ooh.
My cousin came from Ontario and he was like, "Oh, you got to listen to these guys." I think I was like 11. So I'd never really heard anything like that. But then, I heard Back in Black a little bit later than that, but Who Made Who's probably their worst album that they had, and I still
Not my
thought it
favorite.
was good.
I forgot about that because that's not even considered a studio album, right? It's considered a soundtrack. So
It's a soundtrack for
Yeah.
Maximum Overdrive. And then I played it so much, and then my fucking cassette deck ate it.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh,
My cassette deck owes me a lot of cash too, man.
oh,
God damn it.
I got a.
what a design flaw that was.
Totally.
Isn't that the worst feeling?
And you
When
can
you-
hear it slow down, and you go no, and then you hit eject, and then there's just this big long stream of shredded, just
You can't
bent and
get
folded, and then you
part of
you-
it stuck in the deck, so you can't play another tape after.
or you'd get it out intact, and you'd use the pencil to tighten it up.
Wind it
But,
back up.
Yeah,
but
that's-
anytime you played it, it'd always warp in that one spot. You're
Yeah.
like, oh my god, this sucks.
I had one where it flipped backwards. It went upside down for a couple bars, you know.
Oh yeah, right.
Then folded back and on the right side.
Yeah,
God damn.
fucking cassettes.
That was like a bad medium for music, cassettes, but I mean the Walkman like was awesome when that came out. It was like insane that you could walk around with your music.
Yeah.
It's not like you could strap a record player on your back and
Yeah, then the dumbest idea, Discman, you got to walk with a freaking water level so your Discman doesn't bounce.
Yeah. That was the first way that you were able to listen to CDs in your car. You'd have to get the attachment. Remember, it had.
Oh, yeah,
the
the tape
first ones
thing.
had the fake tape that you'd put in your tape deck that you could play it.
Oh, yeah.
What a that was the biggest bunch of
I had-
bullshit,
I
eh?
I have
had
one of
the
those in the
88
basement.
The
I have
88
one of those.
88 town car had that.
Oh, for sure, the town car had that. Fucking garbage.
So, not to jump ahead, but I was just everyone's impressions overall on the album, like strong, good, mediocre. What do you
Amazing.
guys think of Power Up?
Best in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was anyone else taken aback? Like I was, like I'm sure you guys saw the first video they released like 2 weeks or 3 weeks prior to the actual
Yeah.
album coming out, and I'd forgotten that they announced that Angus's nephew was going to be playing guitar, and so I don't know why I was expecting like Wolfgang Van Halen, like some guy in his late 20s, and there's this like super old guy in his 60s. I'm like, what's that's his nephew?
Nephew's
He's
50.
He's the young guy in the band, and he's
Yeah.
like late 50s.
Yeah.
So for me, that I was a little startled by that, but what a great first song.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
was-
the
There's your first great song. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, I know.
great tune,
We're just bringing the analysis.
great album, great tune.
Great tune. Great.
Well, I was
great
gonna,
riff.
s- I was gonna say, I think because every song is the songwriting credits are Angus and Malcolm,
Yep.
and I was reading that they took a lot of riffs of Malcolm's and sort of incorporated them. Didn't take any of the recordings and use them, but replayed them. But I think because it was a tribute to Malcolm, I think the guys went in the studio and just killed it.
Yeah.
Like you can just feel the energy in the album, and you don't feel that energy on very many of the albums in the last, call it 10 years. Like
10 might be a little light.
yeah, maybe 15.
Yeah. I mean,
I think they've only put 2 albums out in the last 15 years. Oh, that was the thing, right? Like they went through periods where they hadn't released anything for 8 years. Like Rocker Bus was 2014, Black Ice was 2008, right? So there's 12 years right there, and they only had 2 albums.
I thought,
Yeah,
I
and
thought
those
Black Ice
albums,
was pretty good.
those albums do not hold up to this. Not even close.
I agree.
I wouldn't know. I barely even listened to him.
Yeah, they're.
We did a
I
little
listened
stiff
to
upper
them.
lip.
Yeah, Camp.
Cease. Yeah, we listened a little bit of that, but
Yeah, I was banging Morrow's girlfriend to that.
Jesus.
More than a stiff upper lip.
Yeah, I thought that this was their geez, this was their best album for me since Flick of the Switch, which is an album that I here's the thing.
That's a good, yeah.
I love Flick of the Switch, and that was probably my last, we'll call it favorite or my most enjoyable album other than, you know, the earlier stuff. It kind of went sideways for me after that album. I found, and as we get into it and we start talking about a couple of different songs, I don't know, that this album really reminded me of Flick of the Switch for whatever reason. There's two songs in particular, but I don't know, I just kind of got that vibe. But
I totally agree with you. I think, and you know what's amazing about this album is Brendan O'Brien. I mean, and just as far as music production goes, I mean, the guy is the most decorated music producer, you know, outside of maybe Rick Rubin, which Rick Rubin did. Was it Stiff Upper Lip?
Did he?
Rubin did?
I didn't know that Rubin did any work with
Yeah,
AC/DC.
Rubin did that one. And
Okay.
I have to say, like, I mean, Brendan O'Brien's done everybody. Pearl Jam, Temple of the Dog, Rage Against the Machine.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
I'm not up
anybody
on
that-
my producers, I guess. I know a couple of guys. I know Mutt Lang and Rick Rubin, I think.
Mutt Lang?
That's about it.
That's your guy?
Yeah. Mutt Lang, didn't he? He
came
did
up-
Back
That's
in
right.
Black and Highway to Hell.
It's nice.
Well, the Black Crows,
Really?
Shake Your Money Maker, Pearl Jam 10, Temple of the Dog, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, Stone Temple
that's a good
Pilots,
album.
Black
Core,
Crows, another brother band. Don't get along.
Soundgarden, Super Unknown, Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire, Bruce Springsteen, Audio Slave, Velvet Revolver. I mean, there's nobody he hasn't been a part of, and you can tell on this album, like, it's done so well.
It is. And wasn't there talk at one point, at least the drummer and maybe the bass player weren't going to play on it because of health reasons, they're getting older or whatever, but I know they limbered up, hit the gym and got in shape and got on the album.
Got pardoned.
Got pardoned. Yeah,
Well,
but sorry,
anyone
go
want to
ahead.
tell who is the drummer story about the murder for hire? Anyways, he was
Yeah.
Go ahead.
he had he first got a drug charge with what do you got? He got caught with crystal meth and marijuana, and then he planned a murder for hire on his like ex bodyguard just because the guy was a dick. He fired him and then still wanted to kill him. So that's probably the meth, not the weed talking there. But
Yeah, Phil Rudd doesn't fuck around.
but then a funny story I read was about his court case. So he got, anyways, for getting his, I don't know what the term is, pardoned or whatever, like for the drug possession. They figures it came up that he had to prove that he would go on tour with his band. So that was part of the case, was him having to prove that he would have future tour dates so they could let him go. Otherwise, they would not throw out the charges. So the judge is like, you know, I'll fuck up AC/DC if I, you know,
That's a lot of pressure.
if I don't play this right here.
You're an Australian judge. You're sitting there
Yeah.
looking at Phil Rudd and you're going, man, I'm going to mess this up. They're going to
So
have to go with that bald fuck.
So you're going on tour then? Whoa, you're free.
He was
He's got so excited. He just yarded his microphone. That was
The
outstanding.
bodyguard must have been banging his lady camping or something. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah.
he was charged with attempting to procure murder.
Procure murder.
Yeah, it's murder for
Yeah,
hire.
That sounds very serious. I'm no lawyer, but that
That
sounds
sounds very
serious.
serious. Yeah. Yeah, that seems like you might get in trouble for that.
And then the parole is, hey, and you've got a tour with AC/DC. That's not bad either.
Yeah.
Right? I sentence you to touring with AC/DC. Oh, okay.
This is an outrage.
Wow.
Must have been the meth. I don't know.
But am I right? These two guys weren't going to play on the album until the last minute, and then they got their act together. Is
Till
that
the
right?
legal fees racked up.
Yeah, that might be the case too. I thought both of them played. Well, I thought the whole band played really good on this too. Like, there's no sound of aging, especially Brian Johnson. Like he sounds
great.
He sounds just like out Back in Black. I don't know
He
if it's,
sounds amazing.
I don't know if it's producer tricks or what, but he just sounds fantastic. I was really taken aback by how well he did.
Yeah.
How'd he fix his ears? Thought he was deaf.
I don't know.
Some medical.
He's like tip top, but like, yeah, I don't know. If you listen to some of his interviews and that. He doesn't really get into specifics, but
fucking,
I don't know.
Yeah,
He
good
got that
vocals.
short up.
He must have just sang, and then they tuned the guitars to him or something. I don't know what the hell the trick was.
well, I like that. I like that song through the what's it called? Through the Mists of Time.
Yes.
Honestly, that's probably the prettiest AC/DC song ever made.
I love that
It's a
song.
lovely tune.
And it's not your prototypical AC/DC song. And I even wrote down, I think
yeah.
Phil Rudd actually learned a new drum beat for that intro.
Yeah,
Hey?
totally. I thought it
Like
was a different
normally
dude.
it's just doom ba do do ba. Like there's not a whole lot of magic there, but that song is so good. And I mean, you can interpret whatever you want. Is it a song about Malcolm? Are they, referencing or referring to him? But it's certainly, reminiscing about, your journey through life or whatever, and some of the challenges that you face and overcoming whatever. Right. So
It's
a bit of a departure from what they would normally do, but
it's almost a Misty pick.
So that's
It's
song
great.
number 4 on the album. And I was going
Yeah.
to say that I think the first 4 songs on this, you could make it a good case that this is up there with any of their best album intros.
Can't stop at 4. With Kick You When You're Down is number 5.
That's
yeah,
true. That's
and then
true.
Witch's Spell, and then Demon Fire. I'm not big on Wild Reputation, so for me, probably
Can't
the
get that
first-
out of my head.
Really?
I found that one the weakest on the album.
It's taken over Slide Away.
Which
Oh,
one?
God.
Wild Reputation.
Can't get that song out of my head.
Slide away.
That's the only song I didn't like on our whole list, Oasis, and it's the one song stuck in my head since.
I know, me too.
Because of you.
I know. It's poker night and everything. I'm upstairs making dinner, just singing Slide Away. Give it all you got. I'm like, curse you, Oasis. I mean, the opening song, Realize, is a classic. I mean, it's a lot of classic AC/DC, and I understand where the criticism comes, like you mentioned, Cease, that it's just all the same song over 17 albums. I don't know. I think there's something
No, but
Yeah.
it's when
special about
it's
that.
like asking
Well,
someone.
you know what?
that's-
You know what though? The criticism it makes me crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking bullshit. I think, you know what? Like, oh, they play in 4/4 time. Oh, they play 3/4 chords. Blah 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 blah. You know what? Get off your couch. Stop playing your Dorian scales by yourself on your guitar, and you go start a rock band and fucking make 17 albums and do it for 50 years and be one of the best rock bands of all time. And then sit there and tell me, oh, it's 4/4. I can play that too. Well, fuck off.
Then do
You
it.
sound like a
do
Tool
it.
fan right now.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
right.
Ah, he brought up
It's
Tool.
a bunch of fucking bullshit. I
I
love
do-
Tool, but
That's a
I'll
good
tell you what,
comparison.
this
yeah. Tool snob.
the people that are snobs about this music are dickheads and assholes.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I do. There was a Brian Johnson quote that I just jotted down, and I love this quote, and I think this is what's great about AC/DC. And he said, "I'm hoping this album will make young kids go out and buy a guitar, learn the riffs, and discover the rest of our catalog." So it's right. It's I don't know. We've complained. We've had arguments outside of this podcast, just with other people, about the state of rock and roll and just music in general. Whether or not people are playing music, people are learning different instruments. Whether I don't care if what it is, but in any event, I think it's a straight up rock and roll album. The first song really sets the tone for the album, and it doesn't really slow down.
Yeah, like I read
No.
a quote. You say quotes. This is a while ago because it was when they had done around 10 albums, and someone said to Angus that what do you say about all your albums? What do you say that you've made 10 albums that all sound the same? He's like, I take offense to that. We've made 11 albums that all sound the same. Well, like, it's like asking someone to sing in a different voice. Like, why? Like, how different are you supposed to sound? Are you supposed to get all? Are they supposed to get all progressive? Like, what are you supposed to do? Is Brian Johnson supposed to start singing in a rock opera voice? Like, are they supposed to do like a Queen Bohemian Rhapsody? That would work.
But it is easy to say. I mean, if you really look, at some of the different songs, like I get where that sentiment comes from, right? But for every like the song "Rejection," which is the second song, like there's
Love that tune.
right. The spirit of Nervous Shakedown lives in that song, right? It's a revenge type song, great riff in that, but there's Nervous Shakedown is different, and Ride On is different, and there are different components, but I do get that. Yeah, it's 4/4 time, and the drumming is pretty straight ahead. Like there's not, but one of the best rhythm sections you'll find, really.
Absolutely rock solid, right?
What was that song, Mauro? The one of my favorite quotes. That was we did the sound clip on it, The Price. The Price by Twisted Sister, and you said the rhythm guitar is not Malcolm Young like, right?
No.
And that's he's kind of not the gold standard, but probably one of the best rhythm guitarists ever.
I actually, back to the vocals, and Rejection's one of my favorite songs on the whole album. I think it's
good tune.
I think it's awesome, but
Good song about rape.
No, it's not.
I know.
I thought that the first time I heard it, I was like, "Ooh, this doesn't sound right." How did they?
Little rapey.
Yeah, I had to listen to it a couple times to realize that that's not what it's about. But on a first listen, you're like, I don't know if you should say that.
you reject me, I'll take what I want. I don't know. Disrespect me, and you'll get burned.
No, and that's why I said it's in the spirit of Nervous Shakedown.
Yeah,
It's more about revenge and step to me and I'll, like, if you disrespect me, I'll tune you in kind of thing, right? That's the way I read into it. I have a hard time believing in this day and age that you're gonna release a song that is just straight up, you reject me, I take what I want, in terms of being a little on the rapey side. I don't see it that way.
well, I've experienced enough rejection. Not as much as Gordo, but
Well, it might be true.
Not me, man. Never try, never fail.
You know what song surprised me on here was Systems Down, because that's as close as you're gonna get to like an off-time AC/DC song ever. I was like, what are they doing here? They're actually they're breaking out of the 4/4 box.
and he plays more than one note on bass.
Yeah, it was just crazy.
I love that song.
Oh, it's a great tune, and you know what? They're not straying too far from what they do best. It just, for them, they tend to have their formula, and they still change it up on album 17. Still surprising you. I thought it was a great song. Yeah, there you go. There's another great song. Ding.
I know. I said one earlier. I think we're up to about 5 or 6. It's hard not to say that. I know. See, I'm going to throw you on the spot because we never talked about specific songs, but I know that you and I were singing it the other day. Kick You When You're Down.
Oh,
right?
yeah. So that's just, yeah. The first song that got stuck in my head.
Yeah, same.
But I said it before, the sign of a good song or album is it doesn't stick right away. And this, if it's catchy right away, you've got Blur, woohoo, stupid songs like that. Where this one, at first couple listens, it took a while for me to, I did not like it, but once you get through and familiarize with the songs, love it.
Yeah. And it was Shot in the Dark. They released that single obviously early, and I thought it was a good tune. There it is again. I enjoyed the song. Maybe I should say, right? And then the next one that kind of caught me was Demon Fire. It's got just a tremendous repeating riff, and that opening spoken word to me sounded like Billy Gibbons.
It does, doesn't it?
Right, and I was like, man, this is pretty cool. So Demon Fire ended up was kind of one of my favorites in the first listen.
I totally agree. And when I heard that song for the first time, it totally reminded me of Moral, like trying to play an AC/DC song that's his. Like, I'm like, dude, how is that not Moral on the writing credits?
I love it. I love it.
You all over, man. But yeah, great. Oh, for Christ's sake. Another great song.
Yeah,
great tune.
Just
Nice
bringing
take.
the analysis, like I said. Yeah, here we go, boys.
It's
great.
Oh, it's a great tune.
Yeah. If you had to pick a favorite song I don't know how many times everyone's listened to the album. I think I'm probably in around 8 or 9 times, front to back. I don't know. Could you pick a favorite song?
I got a few.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Like I like Rejection.
Yep.
I think it's a really. I like every song on the album. You know, at first there was a couple where I was like, I'm not sure, but I do like. But Systems Down, killer. Money Shot's good, and Code Red's good. You know, Demon Fire's great. I mean, but if I had to pick one, I'd say Systems Down.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Code Red is it was interesting to me because when I heard the riff, it sounds like just a slightly changed version of Deep in the Hole. Again, from Flick of the Switch. Like, that's why I kind of wanted to mention that off the top. But to me, when you listen to the riff of Deep in the Hole and then listen to Code Red, it's a great riff, but it certainly reminds me of that song.
Yeah, the vocal aggression on Code Red is Back in Blackish.
Yes, yeah. It's so I mean, I think Money Shot is great, Code Red, but again, Through the Mists of Time, which the first couple times I heard it, I was like, I don't know, it's not as strong as the other ones. But the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. I think Through the Mists of Time is awesome. It's a great song.
Yeah, you know what it was.
Yes, Huffman. It is a great song.
It is a great song, gentlemen.
I didn't think it was a great song the first time I heard it.
Me too.
And then once I listened to it more than once, I really liked it. And then I read that Brian Johnson, he had said something, I don't remember what article it was, that of all the songs when they were in the studio, he felt like Malcolm was in the room when they were playing that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's in one of the articles. I don't know if it's Rolling Stone or something. He's like, I could have sworn Malcolm was in the room.
Oh, yeah. Hey, note to Rolling Stone. I tried to read an article on there today, and there were so many pop-ups and ads. You had to scroll through a bunch of stuff, and the page kept reloading and stuff. Oh, screw you, Rolling Stone. I was so pissed off.
I know.
So I didn't get a chance to read the article. It might have been the same one. Oh, it was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Anyway,
oh, that's funny. Yeah, I found that looking at the top 100 guitar. We were doing Van Halen. I was looking for the top where they ranked on the top lists of, and it was frustrating because they've got 1 to 100. And you got to scroll down from 100 to 80 with about 10 pop-ups. Then 80 to 60. You got to go through another 10 pop-ups.
I know, and
so you just give up.
Yeah. And those ads now that they have where you have to scroll through it. Anyway, I don't want to get triggered here. Is there? I don't know if there's anything else that we want to say about the album or any of the songs that we've. I know we haven't talked about every song, but
back to the production value of the album and the simplicity. I can't believe how well done it is in terms of you can crank it so loud and it doesn't distort. And I remember in the Metallica episode, Gord was talking about Death Magnetic and how they implored some kind of
compressed and shit.
Yeah, and if you crank that album, it distorts on your speakers. If you can play this like literally as loud as you want, and it doesn't distort your speakers, as long as it's on a decent stereo, which is crazy because I was in my car and I had it up like cranked so loud, and it was unbelievable how loud I had it. And this is one of those albums where I was like, it's high octane, great energy, and you can play it loud. Like it's like pump you up music. It's fucking great.
It's great road trip music, man.
I was just gonna say I can see me getting a speeding ticket to one of these songs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, golf trip music.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. If we ever get to do anything ever again, it would be kind of that'll be, we haven't had it was. It's been so long since we've done one of those big sort of golf trips. It was Blast Tyrant. It was that Clutch album that was the last one that we listened to over and over and over again. This one probably would have, if we were able to do a golf trip or something like that right now, I can guarantee that this would be heavy rotation on the bus for sure.
Indeed. You know why? Because of the great tunes.
because they're all great songs. They're good songs.
I still have nightmares from that one trip, Morrow Stag.
Oh, my stag, yeah.
We were in West Kelowna, out where 45 minutes to get through rush hour. Anyways, put the golf course on one side of Kelowna, us all drunk and whatnot on the other side of Kelowna, getting back and forth that course in a 15-passenger van. Listening to Clutch was good, but if you had to puke, it was going to be nasty. Those are scary rides back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Well, luckily that never happened. We all kept it together at least.
Yeah, you poured a beer on my dad's head
Yeah, I did.
at the strippers.
Had it coming.
Yeah, I was overserved, and he was throwing beer at me. So I retaliated.
I think he's throwing ice cubes at you or something.
That,
And then that fucking donkey got beat up by the bouncer. Remember that?
Yeah,
And he was
that's right.
concussed, and then the next day on the golf course, he was yakking everywhere.
Yeah, you had like the fight guy at your stag, picking scraps with
I didn't
everyone.
invite him. The guy's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. You guys,
I didn't even know how he
that
got there. Shows up at
just
the
showed
house
up.
at like 2 a.m, bleeding out of his ear.
Yeah, that guy was a dick.
your stag was crashed. You had crashed by 3 dudes. No one knew.
That's awesome.
yeah, bleeding dudes just showing up at 2 a.m. Yeah,
You're like it in your 20s or how old, and your parents are making you play with their friends' kids.
Jesus,
I
Murphy.
played a really solid 9 holes on that Jack Nicklaus course, and then the beers kicked in, and I couldn't. Do
I
it,
shot
but had a
shot
good
75 that day,
I remember that.
and
That was before we played the other 9.
I was 3 over on the last 2 holes, and you guys fed me like a beer a hole.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Nice.
I fell over into the sand trap on 17.
That's right.
I couldn't get out of the sand trap. It took me 2. I still shot 75.
Yeah, he still made. I think he made double on 17. I think I made triple.
Wow.
And I played with
suck at
Kurt.
golf, so-
I played with Kurt
the
and
only-
heard the word cunt 400 times.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, do you guys think this is going to be it for AC/DC, or do you think they got another album after this?
I don't. I think Brian Johnson can probably keep going. I think Angus can keep going, and I think if you have those two, and obviously what's his name, Stevie, the 6-year-old nephew.
The nephew.
He seems to be. He's young and spry, and he looks like he's good to go. I think. I think. I mean, not that, they've had different drummers before. I think they could probably go again. I mean, they're still planning on touring this album.
That's
I
crazy.
don't. I thought they were. Well, the bass player can't tour.
Yeah, Cliff. Is it Cliff? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he can't.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah. Wow. I could play bass.
But you know what would be cool though,
That's all
if
I
they
got.
couldn't tour, because if you've seen the video for "Shot in the Dark," it's awesome. It's like almost like a concert video, but there's no fans. I was thinking about this, and maybe it's a crazy idea or dumb, but whatever. This would be a perfect time for them to like put on like a worldwide virtual concert. Where they could do it in a small venue with not a lot of people and broadcast it.
Yeah.
It would be phenomenal.
A lot of bands are doing that now,
Yeah,
right?
what do we got? Alice in Chains coming up. When's that?
Yeah, there's that tribute coming up.
Oh,
Corb Lund just sent one out today.
Yeah, Face to Face is doing one. I think Goldfinger's doing one, and they've done some. There's lots of bands out there. Foo Fighters just did one on the weekend. That was more of a festival style. There's, they're starting to do stuff like that, because I think, as performers, I guess, sitting around doing nothing, I think is starting to piss people off, and it's starting to drive them crazy.
Yep.
I do have to give a shout out to Witch's Spell.
Going back to I thought I was just about to wrap it up. What do you like about it?
It's his
Well,
deep cut.
I've been caught in
doing
a,
deep.
I've been caught in a
Deep
few of
cuts
those.
on a 12-song album.
I've been caught in a few witches' spells.
Really?
It's gonna take you to hell.
Which is spell? That's the one for you, eh? Huh. Okay, I'll throw one out for Money Shot then. I thought the album was coming to a
You
close.
salty dog.
Money Shot that's a sleeper. On the second listen, I'm like, how did I miss this the first time through this album? It's a
Okay, all the AC/DC songs about banging are hilarious.
Yeah, that's the one that got accused of being about pornography.
Is that right? Well, I guess I can see that now, but it's you know what? It doesn't matter. It's still
But they
a
deny
great
it.
song.
They do deny it. They say it's about booze at 2 a.m., taking shots at 2 a.m. Mm-hmm. That's their story. They're sticking to it.
From guys that don't drink.
They've always been tricky in their career with the double meanings there, and good on them.
yeah.
Good on them.
Yeah.
It just where like for
Like
you guys,
Squeal-
where
like
does
Squealer?
where does the album fit in? If you had to rank, does it fit in your top 5? Does it fit in your top
No.
10?
Top 10, yep.
Yeah.
I'd say it's around 5 for me. Squeaks into the top 5. I think it's that good.
I agree. I was gonna say 5 or 6 for me.
Yeah, I'm right with you right around there.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list. It's tough because there's
I say it's number 10.
Number
Yeah,
10.
High
Okay.
Voltage, Dirty Deeds, Let There Be Rock, Power Age, Highway to Hell, Back in Black. For those about to rock, Flick of the Switch are probably ranked higher.
Yeah,
for me.
Every Bon Scott, if you count the EP Jailbreak, that's 6.
Oh yeah,
And
and
then
Jailbreak too.
Back in Black, for those about to rock, and Fly on the Wall, I like more. Flick of the Switch, though, is where, and Blow Up Your Video is where I start to. Man.
Flick of the Switch is one of my favorite albums. In fact, I do have a copy of it right here on vinyl.
Look
Gentlemen,
Oh,
right here.
Nice.
nice.
Our vinyl collection.
Yeah,
Nice.
I've got that and Back in Black are the only ones that I have, and those are probably my 2 favorite albums.
Flick of the Switch is the most underrated AC/DC album.
I think it's incredible.
Well, Let There Be Rock. I never hear people talk about that. That's my favorite one by far.
Well, if you had to
Heavy.
pick a favorite, what would,
Now, today it's Let There Be Rock.
If you had to pick,
if you had to pick a favorite album, which one would it be?
For me, it's got to be Back in Black, but not by a landslide by any means. But that was my first one I loved, and I still think it's the best.
it's hard to stray away from Back in Black because it's not just Hell's Bells and Back in Black and like Shake a Leg. Like, you freaking kidding me? Like, that is one of my favorite all-time AC/DC songs. Like, it's insane. It's
Yeah.
that
Power-
riff is so.
Power Age Challenge is a challenger for my favorite too. But I'll
Yeah.
say Let There Be Rock, then Power Age.
I say Power Age is my favorite.
Power Age is it was a
Back in Black right
was a
there.
soundtrack to our 20s. That was our Power Age.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
We
true.
listened,
used
to
to-
that, we listened to that song from Arizona to home for what was supposed to be a 3-day drive, but it turned into 2. Morrow drove 14 hours straight, and he was starting to hallucinate and like veer off the road. I'm like, "You want me to drive, man?" He's like, "No, I'm good." And I'm like, I knew he wasn't good, but I was in a convertible and I had AC/DC and my feet up on the dash. I'm like, "You're good, I'm good too." Then I was kind of milking it. I knew I should have taken over, but then we get to Salt Lake City, and it's like he starts
8 lanes of
swerving
traffic.
and then he starts freaking out. My parents, I think they died in a plane crash. Because they were on a flight that day and hadn't called. Yeah, I couldn't get a hold of him. And he's phoning.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, the drive made you nuts.
And good luck finding beer at fucking 11 or 12 at night
Salt
in
Lake
Salt Lake
City.
City.
You can't.
That town's no
It's hard
fun.
to find
No.
it at noon.
But that and then the Sifton House. We listen to that all the time in the
basement?
in the rock pad.
The disco ball. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Right on.
Well, there you go. That's
So are we gonna give it like a rating?
yeah.
Like, I'm a numbers guy.
Yeah.
What
What are you going? Or is it? What's the rating system? Is that a 5? Is that a 10?
let's go at a 10.
out of 10. How many picks are you going to give this one, Morrow?
You know what? I'm gonna go 9 out of 10.
9 picks. That's a high rating.
That's a good rating, buddy.
That is a good rating.
I was gonna say 8.5, but I thought it deserves 9.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I'm gonna go with the 8.5, which in my mind is a very high rating. 8.5 is very commendable.
Yeah, I'll go 8.5.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to go 8.5. I'll stick with 8.5. I think it's a tremendous album. Time will tell if you get tired of it, right? Because I'm listening to it a lot, which leads me to believe, of course, that I really enjoy it. So yeah, I'll go 8.5 on that as well.
Let's give it the official Picks and Sticks 8.5 out of 10.
8.5 picks out of 10.
Nice.
There's nothing wrong with that. So I think with that said, I think that's about it. So, we've got the antidote, and that's Picks and Sticks. Hope you enjoyed the episode. It was a different one for us, and I don't know. I think it was a lot of fun, and hopefully all the AC/DC fans out there are as jacked up about this album as we are, and we certainly hope to see more just like it. So yeah, tell your friends, your family, your neighbors, co-workers about the Picks and Sticks podcast. We do appreciate your support. You find us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and Alexa. You'll find us all over the place. Next episode, we're going to do a special Christmas episode. That playlist is going to be absolutely epic. I am looking forward to this. Like I said, I started out. I'm deep into it, but in any event, thanks for listening, and until next time, see ya.
See you soon.